Now, color is important. We see color everywhere. We see color every day. I can't imagine a world without color. There's a different experience watching a black and white TV and a TV that allows you to see color, see the whole world in their true color. Now, color has a way of communicating message without using words, and it's important to understand the language of color. Now, let's look at different terminologies I should understand when it comes to color. We have hue, which is a type of color. So you can have a red hue, green hue, purple, a purple hue. Now, when it comes to tint, you have a hue to which white has been added. So when you add white to red, you have pink. So you can say pink is a tint of red. When you add black to red, you have a burgundy color. You can say burgundy is a shade of red. Now, when you add gray or you add a mixture of black and white to the color, you have a tone. So that's the difference between the terminologies. When white is added, it's a tint. When black is added, it's a shade. When gray is added, it is a tone. So this is another image that describes these differences between the hue, a tint, a tone, or a shade. Now we have what we call a color wheel. Color wheel helps you to recognize different colors and combine colors in your design in a way that makes it more interesting and more organized. So by understanding the way color wheel works, you can be able to integrate it into your designs. In a color wheel, you have three primary colors: the red, yellow, blue. We have secondary colors that are made from a mixture of the primary colors. You have green from yellow and blue, orange from red and yellow. You have purple from blue and red. You also have tertiary colors, which are about six of them, and these are made from the mixtures of the primary and secondary color. Now, if you put this line, draw the line through the center of the wheel, on one side you have the warm colors, on the other side you have the cool colors. Look at this. These are examples of color wheels. You can see the way the color wheels are arranged. You have the primary colors here. That is the yellow, the red, and the blue. You have the secondary colors in between them. In between them, so you have the green in between yellow and blue, showing you that it is derived from those two colors. The purple between red and blue. Then in between these colors, you now have the tertiary colors, which is they are from the mixture of the primary and secondary colors. Now, you use this color scheme in your design. When you understand the way the color scheme is, you can use that knowledge in the way you integrate colors to your design. Now we have the color scheme, the monochromatic color scheme. In this case, you are using the variation of the same hue. Just by adjusting the shades, the tones, and the tint, you can have variety of colors that you can use in your design. I'm going to show you an example of that. But before I go there, I'll mention the analogous color scheme too, in which case you are making color combinations from colors that are directly opposite each other on the color wheel. So if you draw a straight line through the center, colors that are directly opposite each other. Sorry, did I say colors that are directly opposite? So for analogous, this talks about colors that are close to each other. For opposite is complementary colors. For analogous color scheme, you're talking about colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. They are similar colors. They are colors that are next to each other. So colors that sit beside each other, these are analogous colors. So when you use colors like this in your design, you're using the analogous color scheme. So see an example of this. Let's check this out. Look at this image. So you see analogous color scheme here. When you use these colors that are beside each other on the color wheel, that's an analogous color scheme. If you use this one, for example, you use yellow, green, or this green, yellow, this three, for example, that's an example of an analogous color scheme. Let's look at an image that shows that this first image, this describes more of a monochromatic color scheme. This is basically the use of the shades of red. You can see they have red there, you have pink here, which is more like a, a tint of the red color. So when you have that tint of red, you have pink. So use of that hue with the tint, you've been able to use a monochromatic color scheme. This one on the right, on the other side, you're using an analogous color scheme. You're using colors that are close to each other in the color wheel. You have yellow, you have this green, greenish blue, greenish yellow, which are very close to each other on the color scheme. You can see them on the colors like we showed you last time. These are colors that are close to each other on the color scheme. Now let's take another type of color scheme. We have the complementary color scheme, in which you use colors that are directly opposite each other on the color wheel. Now another color scheme is the triadic color. In complementary color, you get to use two colors that are directly opposite each other, but in triadic you get to use three colors. And the way it is such that you have three colors that are evenly spaced on the color scheme. You basically draw equilateral triangles from different points on the color scheme, and those points where you have three colors of equal distance to each other on the color scheme, you have the triadic color scheme. So let's look at this. For example, look at these three colors. They are of equal distance to each other on the color scheme. You can use it in any direction. Just pick up colors that are equal distance in a triangular format. When you use those colors together, you're using triadic color scheme. So we have an example here. So, but before I go there, we have the complementary color scheme which I mentioned, colors that are directly opposite each other. Now look at this particular design. You have the red and the green. These are colors that are directly opposite each other. Look at the blue, the red, the yellow. These are colors that they form equal distance. They are located equal distance to each other on the color wheel. Now we talk about the other types of color scheme. We have the split complementary color scheme. In this color scheme, we have colors that are right next to one another on the color wheel. It's a bit different from the complementary color scheme, because in case of complementary color scheme, you're using just two colors. But split complementary allows you to use three colors. So you're picking a color and then you look over to the opposite side. And instead of picking that color that is directly opposite, you pick the colors that are beside it. You pick the two colors that are beside it. Let me give you a show of that. So this is a split complementary color scheme. This is red. Directly opposite it is this green color. But instead of picking green color, you pick these two colors that are close to it but directly beside it. So you have the option of picking three colors because of this split complementary color scheme. So that's what we call a split. So you are splitting the complementary color. That's a split complementary color scheme. Now we have what we call the tetradic color scheme, in which case you get to use four colors. You're looking at colors that are opposite each other in a rectangular way. And another way of using it is a square type. So instead of using making it form a rectangular shape, you can make it equal distance, forming a square shape. But these are tetradic color schemes. So these are ways by which you can use color. And when you experiment on this color arrangement, you get to see how they make your designs much more organized in a colorful way. So this is an example. You can look at this one. You have the tetradic color scheme. The colors here are used in such a way that they form a rectangular shape when you pick up the points on the color. It's more like a split complementary color scheme. You have the purple, the green, and the yellow. So check this out. Experiment with them in your design. Now let's talk about color psychology. Colors, they have messages that they communicate. Every color communicates an idea, a message, and it's important to understand the words and the meanings behind this color, because you can integrate this meaning. You can apply this knowledge to your design. Now blue speaks about depth, stability, trust, confidence, and calmness. And if you have a brand that is about trust about stability. For example, maybe a finance organization or firm. You want to communicate trust to your client. Blue is a color that you can use. You have red communicating passion, energy, and power. You have green communicating nature, calmness, growth. So, for example, organic products tend to use green a lot. So you have different colors. You have pink, usually used by all these beauty products. It communicates sensitivity, care, emotion, love, sexuality. You have all of these colors having ideas that they communicate. So you can just look through them and have an idea of what each of these colors communicate. And brands have actually been able to use this information in the way they communicate to their clients, even in their logos and in their brand design. Look at YouTube and Coca-Cola using red, Nickelodeon using orange. We have McDonald's yellow, Whole Foods with green, Ford and HP with blue. We have Yahoo with purple. So all of these things, there's a reason why these colors are being used by this brand. They're not just picked out of the blue. They are very intentional and thoughtful. Hello, I believe you're enjoying this video. If you are, take a few seconds to click the subscribe button. Thank you. Now let's get back to the video. Now let's talk about shapes. Apart from colors, shapes also communicate. They define characteristics and emotions in a non-verbal way. Now we have different kinds of shapes. We have geometric shapes like squares, triangles, circles, and the likes. We have organic shapes, shapes of flowers, shapes of leaves. All of these things are examples of organic shapes. We have abstract shapes, shapes that depict real things in real life. For example, you can have a stick figure that depicts a person. Everybody who sees a stick figure everywhere knows that is signifying or representing a person. Now, this is an image showing the different types of shape, from the geometric to the organic to the abstract shape. Now, shapes also communicate. We have rectangle and square for balance and tradition, circle for protection, permitting, triangles communicate stability, energy. So we have different brands using these shapes. We have Pinterest using circle. You have rings. When you have in the Olympic logo, you have curves in Amazon and Apple for flexibility, adaptability, and compliance. You have square in Microsoft for stability and consistency. You have triangle in Adidas, and for power, we have lines. Different lines communicate too. So all of these things are used by brands to communicate something to their client base. We also talk about typography. Now, typography. So typography is the art of arranging the typeface in various combination of font, size, and spacing. And typography helps to promote legibility and also to communicate a message in your design. So different elements in your design, they are all important in communicating the message to your audience. So in typography, we have what we call typeface. A typeface is a family of font, while a font is a variation of a typeface. For example, look at this. You have this typeface which is Proxima number, Proxima Nova. Under this typeface, you have different fonts. We have the Proxima Nova Thin, Proxima Nova Light Italic, Proxima Nova Regular. All of these fonts, they are in the particular family, which is the typeface, as Proxima Nova. So you can understand the difference between the typeface and the font. So typeface is the family, fonts are the members of the family. Now we have different types of fonts. We have the serif font. Serif fonts, they are recognized by an extra stroke in the letters, or extra strokes in letters. That extra stroke is called a serif. So serif font are fonts that have that extra stroke. They give a decorative touch, give an elegant feel, traditional feel to the text, and this helps to promote some sense of readability. You can use that in newspaper or book. I'll show you an example of a serif font. Look at this particular image. You can see these extra strokes. These extra strokes are called serifs. So any text, any kind of font that has this extra stroke is a serif font. Now, as opposed to sans serif font, sans serif, sans means without. As a French word, sans means without. So sans serif means without the stroke. So any kind of font in which these strokes are absent is a sans serif font. So sans serif font, they lack this extra stroke. They tend to be more modern and minimalistic in their appearance. So if you're looking for a minimalistic design, sans serif fonts are much more applicable in those designs, and they are also very legible, and you can utilize them in a number of ways. Apart from these two fonts, we have script fonts. They look more like handwritings, and they tend to portray some level of elegance, prestige. One thing about them is that they're not very legible, just like some handwriting. So if you're looking for, you kind of communicate a message that requires legibility, you shouldn't use script font for that. But there are ways you can use script font in your design if you're looking for that sense of that style and elegance, to that particular text that you're putting your design. You can use script fonts. So we have examples of script font, which I'll show you as we go on. And this is an example of a script font. This Pacifico font is an example of a script font. Now, apart from script font, we have what we call display font, which are also called decorative font. They are variations of the serif, sans serif, or script font, and they tend to be more fun, more casual in the way that they are expressed. So you can see examples like the logos of Disney, Fanta, Lego. All of these things are examples of display fonts. You can use them in billboards and the likes. So this is an example of a display font. So you have this a brief fast face with an example of a display font. So you can explore different font and see how they work in your design. So thank you very much for um, joining this particular tutorial. See you in the next tutorial.